Hello and welcome to another episode of A.C.E.S MC Overhaul Let's Play. And today's episode, as you can probably tell by the thumbnail, I've got some big plans on some big old things coming at you. In last episode we made that farm right there, which honestly does not perform doesn't perform the way I thought it would. It's kind of disappointing, to be honest with you. But that's all gonna have to be put on hold because today I have my eyes set on something called the Crucible. Now, the Crucible is a pretty cool block. You can actually use this block to smelt down stone and various stone type items into lava. As you can see here, all you need to craft it is a cauldron, a furnace, a lava bucket, and some obsidian. We can now get all that stuff because we are fully decked out in diamond gear, which happened, I believe, the episode before last episode. But today I want to see if we can get this Crucible up and running. Now, the only problem with using a Crucible is the fact that it uses advanced fuels to run. That is, because we're smelting down stone into lava, we need a fuel that is more powerful than lava itself. So, yes, you heard me correctly. Even if we went out and got buckets of lava, those would not properly fuel the Crucible. The only types of fuel that work are acquirable in the Nether. So we need to either get blaze rods or magma shards. And while blaze rods are vanilla and perhaps the easiest fuel source to get, I'm going to go over the top. And in today's episode, we're going to be making a farm that has never been made before. And that is correct. We are making a magma shard farm. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. These are a new item added from your mod. How do we farm them? What is the best way to farm them? And the best way, that's probably going to be up to you folks out there to figure out. But I do have some ideas. If you can actually tell real quick, jumping ship, our flamingo eggs hatched. So I've got two more flamingos running around the house that need to be added to the pen. Or maybe, honestly, I just kill them. No, we leave them alive until we get looting 3 because these flamingos are going to be very useful, but if we start killing them before we have looting 3, we're going to be wasting a lot of time. Yeah, what's that looking at me for? Well, without further ado, I do have some plans for how to make this magma shard farm, and I will show you once I get this opening parts set up. So the first thing that we had to do was venture into the Nether to get plenty of magma blocks because they are going to be very important for the base of the farm. I actually did get a little scared here as a creeper came through my portal, so that's pretty funny, but it's kind of good that we're in the basalt deltas. It's also really good that I had a flint and steel in my tool chest because it made it so that I was not stuck in the Nether for an extended period of time. But anyways, I started to explore the basalt deltas because I figured it might be a really good source of magma blocks, but eventually I realized just kind of running around the Nether and getting magma blocks anywhere else in massive veins is much faster than the small tiny veins they spawn in the magma and the basalt deltas, so we kind of jumped ship on that, but eventually we ended up with a ton of magma blocks. Now, the next thing we had to do was get on top of the roof of the Nether, which luckily on Java, especially when you have a mini-map, so you can only have to do it once and then you can teleport back and forth, it is not too hard. So, that's where we are now. Let's see what I've collected and how we're going to start building this farm. So unfortunately, the clip I recorded between the last one and this one actually got corrupted, so I don't have any recap of the stuff that I've been collecting, and I apologize for that. But essentially, I've been collecting a lot of magma blocks so that I can make a big platform-based spawning farm on the roof of the Nether. So here I am trying to figure out the best place to center it, and then I'm going to build up a pillar, as you can see right here. This pillar is going to go a couple blocks up into the air, and that's going to create our AFK platform. I am then going to put a bunch of magma blocks along the base, like you can see right here, and create a big old platform, line the underside with minecarts and minecart tracks so that we can collect all the magma shards that drop, and place some storage chests in as well, and I'll jump to you when we get to that point. Now is also probably a pretty good time to say that if you're really paying attention, every episode of Ace's Let's Play so far, I have updated to a new version of the mod, but this episode actually breaks that trend. We are still playing in 1.0.5, not 1.0.6 like we should be, even though the last video was also recorded in 1.0.5. But I do have good news. If you are watching this video, then 1.0.6 has been released. I actually have already released it at the point of recording this little audio clip, just not at the point of recording all this stuff. I wanted to get it all out to you really quickly because it's been a bit of a delay with the Creator update, but just thought I'd let you all know that the new update is available, and you can see that update video shortly. All right, we are back after, I mean, a whole bunch of time. I may have bit off a bit more than I can chew. You know, I say that, but I don't think I actually, you know, I think I can chew it. I think we can chew it up, but I forgot just how big of an area this is. You can see here on the map that this is a 4x4 chunk area. And boy, oh boy, is this gonna be a ton of resources. Each line of hoppers that you see here is already over 64, because you can see that's 16, 32, 48, 64 blocks. So this is 3 stacks of hoppers right here, plus the additional hoppers I need on here to kind of get these chests working. But it should hopefully all be worth it, not to mention that every single line of rails here is also going to be almost a stack of rails. I think each line here is 61 rails plus 6 powered rails and 2 redstone blocks. So yeah, it's this thing's going to be an absolute behemoth, but it should produce infinite fuel, meaning we won't have to build a coal farm or a lava farm or a dried kelp farm or anything like that. And not only is it infinite fuel, it's infinite fuel that is capable of powering the Crucible, which is going to be absolutely awesome. But I'm going to go ahead and try and get all these rails and I guess even the magma cube in, and then go up there, test it, see if it's working as I intended. And honestly, that should be the bulk of it done. You know, it's very resource heavy, but this farm it's not going to it's not going to be super expensive. It just takes a lot of repetitive stuff, but it's nothing we can't handle, right?
2 hours later.
This magma, this was about twice as much as I was originally anticipating. And now it's just a matter of waiting for cubes to spawn. What? This doesn't really make sense to me, but I've done some research, and as far as I can tell, they should be spawning, so I might just be too close. But I'm still not getting any magma cubes. What the heck? Well, alrighty. This is more what I was going for. So, because we are in a basalt delta, the only things that will spawn are magma cubes and the basalt golems. And of course, the magma cubes will just hop around naturally, and the basalt golems that spawn will chase down the magma mites that spawn underneath their feet and kill them. So, in theory, we've got a fully automatic magma mite farm just right here using the basalt golems. I just need to put a wall on this thing, and I guess ideally I would name tag a couple of these basalt golems so that they're always here sticking around just in case. And then I need to add a minecart with a hopper onto every single one of these loops that you see here, which is like 32 minecart with hopper, I think, which is gonna be ridiculous expensive because we've already shot through pretty much all of our iron. So maybe we'll get a big AFK session on the iron farm tonight. But other than that, it looks good. I'm thinking about possibly dividing the farm into quadrants, so that we can guarantee that the magma cubes and the basalt golems don't cross over or intersect with each other. And as you can see here, these basalt golems are probably too far away from these magma cubes, which are not jumping around very often, but are obviously jumping around. So every time they jump, that should all be spawning magma mites, which I can't see them down there, but they are designed to blend in with the magma. So it's hard to say. Hard to say, but I think dividing it into quadrants might help with efficiency just a little bit. Alrighty, we are back, and it's actually the following day. I know it's not going to seem that way to you. For you, it's probably only been a few minutes, but for me, it's been well over 24 hours because I had to AFK the iron farm. We totally ran out of iron trying to get all of these rails and minecarts in place, so I totally had to AFK the iron farm, chop down a lot of wood, but we are good. Let me real quick tell you what I've done. You can see I've smelted up and stained all of the sand, turned it into glass, placed that in. Each one of these walls is 3 stacks. So it's 3, 6, 9, 12 stacks of glass, but we're probably going to need 4 more, honestly, because I kind of forgot that magma cubes have the ability to jump 3 blocks tall. So that means magma cubes that spawn in the farm can just jump on the wall and jump right out. And well, it's not a huge problem because it's not like we're farming the magma cubes themselves. The magma cubes jumping around on these magma blocks is what's spawning in the magmamites, which we are farming. So we really should try and limit the ability of the magma cubes to jump away, because that is just a magma cube that is taking up the mob cap but not spawning in magmamites. So it's bad. We don't want that. So I'll probably have to go around with either slabs or another layer of glass just to stop magma cubes from jumping out. But you may be asking yourself, why did you use bars? This thing is so iron heavy. Why did you use bars to divide up the sections? Which I will say, just by the way, I think dividing the sections like this is the proper move, and I might even put a few more basalt golems in here once I can get more name tags, because you can see they do indeed despawn. The reason that none of these guys despawn is because I've renamed them all to golem guardians. So the golem guardians, there's at least one, and by at least one I mean exactly one, in every single one of these chunks. This is 16 chunks. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see they've all got at least one golem guardian, and this one has a few more because some basalt golems spawned naturally. So that honestly, it all seems to work very well. The reason I've got it divided up like this is so that the golems don't maybe migrate to one corner, and then we have magma cubes jumping around over there, and the farm is just spawning a bunch of magmamites, but nothing's dying because the golems. So it really just keeps the golems separated and sectioned off. So that is very nice. Now I've used the bars here because the bars stop the golems from crossing. The golems are too tall, but they don't prevent magma cubes from spawning underneath them, because magma cubes only need a 2.1 block tall space. So if I used a full block here, it wouldn't prevent magma cubes from spawning. It would prevent magma cubes from spawning. So this block right here, nothing can spawn underneath it, or at least I should say magma cubes can't. So because we are in a basalt deltas, nothing can spawn underneath these blocks, which does give us 9 spots throughout the farm where nothing is spawning, but that's not really a problem. Now if I use top slabs, I would then have to put more slabs or trap doors or something like that across the top, and that would stop them. Plus I'm not sure, because I didn't even test it, if top slabs would be too short for the golems or if they would successfully block them. But either way, I found that these chains are probably the best way to go about and do this. The only problem I've found with the chain is that magma cubes can just jump right over them. They can also jump on them, which is really the problem, because once they've jumped on them, that whole time they're not spawning in any other magmamites, because they only spawn in magmamites when a magma cube jumps on a magma block. So if they jump off the chain, it's kind of a waste of a jump. But it's not really that big a deal, because in the 5 minutes that I AFK'd this thing just to test it out, I think I told you while I was mining sand, I got almost a stack. So go ahead and put in the comments down below what you think this farm produced within 1 hour. I went ahead and AFK'd this thing 1 hour. And before we open up the chest right here, well, I've already looked at it. Go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and boom. Take about a stack out, and there we go. We got ourselves not quite a shulker full of magma shards, which I would say in 1 hour is definitely, I mean, I can't complain. I actually AFK'd for a little bit longer than an hour, so we can say 2 rows every hour or 1 row every 30 minutes. Now I have to say, I fully expect this farm to fluctuate in its rates, because if a bunch of basalt golems spawn over here and a bunch of magma cubes spawn over here. Well, this one golem is going to be trying to clear out all of the magma mites, and that's just not going to do very well. It's also just very dependent on how often the magma cubes jump and how many magma cubes we get spawning. I would say once we get 3 golem guardians in each quadrant, we'll pretty much be nearing the maximum rates we can see. And once we hit 4, I would be shocked if they varied all that much from AFK sesh to AFK sesh. But at least right now, I'm expecting the rates to vary quite a bit. So I'm going to be a little hopeful and say that this is producing about a shulker every hour, which is honestly, I can't complain. Name one other farm that produces a shulker of coal essentially every hour. And these are actually even better than coal because they're usable in the crucible, and they also smelt 9 items as opposed to 8. Now, the only problem we're having, well, I guess it's 2 problems, is the fact that the minecarts here have no way to stop. Now, I've successfully stopped them because I went ahead and put in this line of powered rails, but I very quickly realized I have no way to repower this line of powered rails. If I put in blocks up here, I mean, I have a huge issue. I can't power them from below because from below there's bedrock, and it would lock this line of hoppers, so I think my only option is to move this whole line out again, which I've already had to do once because the first time the hoppers here, or the minecarts, got stuck. They collided with the glass and the magma cubes and the magma blocks here, so they just wouldn't go down the track. So I've got a lot of work to do on this output system here, just so that I can add a off switch, but for now I'm just not going to turn it back on. I think what we've gotten so far is definitely enough to hold us over for at least a little bit, for at least long enough that we can put on a proper off switch and all that stuff. But I'm really happy with the way this turned out. Really happy. I'm gonna go ahead and edit what I've got up to this point, see how long the video is, and maybe we'll get another thing done today. So now that we have all of these lovely magma shards, we can start working on making an infinite lava source the A.C.E.S MC Overhaul way. And if we want any hope of getting anywhere, then we need to craft this, the thing I showed you earlier, the crucible. So we need to get, what, 6 obsidian, a furnace, a cauldron, and a lava bucket? Ha! And there we go. Gives us the empty bucket back, and we can place this crucible down somewhere. Let's go ahead and take a nap and place it somewhere outside. So we need somewhere to demo this crucible. So I think I'm going to take this area around the side of the house, tear the duck farm down because it's not quite working, and build up the, like, just a little demo area that we can test out new things on. Alright, we got ourselves a nice little platform here, so we're gonna plop down the crucible. Ooh, empty 9 mega buckets, or 9 buckets. Yeah, that's gonna be the tank on the inside. That's really cool. So we can put the magma shard in here, and I've actually got a couple different things I want to test and see what it can smelt and what it can't, because I don't fully remember, and I want to see how much lava we get from each. So we're gonna start with just a simple piece of cobblestone. And it looked like it's behaving as normal because we're still in 1.0.5. In the next 1.0.6 update, it shouldn't kick you out of the Crucible menu anymore, although there is a new bug where when you open it, it actually resets the progress for some reason. I have no idea why it does that, but yeah, that looks like it smelted successfully and gave us 8 mega buckets. Looks like we cannot smelt marble, which I need to go get tough and see if we can smelt tough. We cannot do granite. We should be able to do cobble deep slate. Yep, just like that. And mossy cobble? Yep, we can do mossy cobble. So the cobble deep slate, it looks like gave 16, double the amount as the cobblestone. This should only give 8. Yep, so we have 32. I don't think we can do sandstone. Nope. I don't think we can do gravel. Nope. And no, we can't do obsidian. So cobble deep slate is going to be our best bet for now. I think blackstone gives us 32 actually, so like literally how much we have right now. So that would be nice, but I'm not entirely certain about that. But you may be thinking to yourself, well, that's pretty cool. Do we have 48 buckets of lava? And the answer is no. We have 48 millibuckets. So we need 1,000 before we have a single bucket worth of lava. So you can see this thing, while it does produce infinite lava, is pretty slow. So we're going to need to get ourselves a cobblestone generator. So now we have a little cobblestone generator right here hooked up to a piston and a hopper here, so it will be pushed over to our crucible as soon as we set up our little our observer clock here. So there we go. And now you may be wondering, are you just planning on breaking this cobblestone over and over? Because doesn't really seem like the most efficient farm. And to that I would say, yeah, you're right. It's probably not the most efficient. I should probably also slow down this clock if I really want to get at maximum efficiency, but it works for now. But we are going to utilize another block from our mod to solve our problems and make this fully automatic by making a drill chassis. So we need a iron ingot, or any sort of metal ingot there, and then a gear, which seems to be the same dealio. So I should be able to use the iron I have in my inventory. I know it's a little basic, but I think we can get over it. Place these nuggets there, and then boom, we've got ourselves four gears. And then now, what was it again? So we need iron, redstone, and obsidian. I've got all of that stuff on me, so we can go ahead and do this. Place the redstone there, the gear here, and the redstone here, and the iron there, and then boom, a drill chassis. We're also going to need ourselves a bit. So if we go in here, you can see we need a block and some bars. Now I might have some bars over here, and whoa, yep. Well, I think that should work. In here, actually no, it was an iron drill bit, wasn't it? I don't think we're gonna be able to use, nope, the tungsten bars. So we can put those tungsten bars away. Make ourselves some iron ones, and then drill bit. Boom, there we go. Now if we place our drill chassis here, break out this block right here and place in our drill bit on the chassis, and then power that drill chassis right there, you can see we now have a working cobblestone generator feeding our crucible here. Now there is no animations or sounds for the drill, which is something I'm planning on adding very soon, just to try and bring the whole thing together. I also need to slow down this, but this is a nice rudimentary infinite lava machine. Pretty done and dusted. So without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and leave it right there. Now we are officially updated to 1.0.6, and the first thing you will notice is all of my crops, my modded crops, have all disappeared. This will definitely happen with you guys as well. The modded crops have been switched to new block state type blocks, so their OG blocks are now gone and have been replaced with other versions. So if you're smart and you really care about it, you might want to break down your crops and just keep the seeds and whatnot before you update, and that will prevent anything like this from happening. Now the crucible, yeah, so we're gonna have to make ourselves another crucible because my crucible has been deleted as well. If your crucible is turned off when you update, this shouldn't happen, but if your crucible is turned on, it's gonna get deleted because the on version of the crucible no longer exists. It has been collapsed down into a more simple block, and a couple other things like that. So just do be warned that this is a volatile update and might delete or change some of the things that you have already experimented with. But go ahead and update to this update because it is phenomenal. There's a lot of really cool new things, and we will cover that in the next video, which will be an overview for the update. But until next time, I really hope you all enjoyed building a farm that no one has built before, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Peace out.